Hi, welcome back to the channel. Have Roots, Will Travel. My name is Lisa Elvin Steltare, and I am a genealogist and, yes, a passionate traveler. And over the last several years, we've been traveling. We've been traveling through time and looking at Les Filles du Roi, the King's Daughters. We're looking at some historic travel. We're looking at different genealogical research techniques, and also Les Filles Mariées, which we started in 2023. And we're getting to know these ladies. We're getting to know in depth what they were all about. So before we begin, let me show you ways you can help the channel. We can subscribe, we can like, and we can notify. All of this costs you nothing. Thank you so much for helping me and my channel grow. I really appreciate your help. So let's get started and explore our Filles du Roi number 281 for this episode. Today we're going to be looking at episode 281, Marguerite Bonnefoy, dite Sainte Foy. And she comes to us from a viewer request. I'm very excited to be able to do this for her. And also, when I looked in my files, one of my very dearest friends from high school. This is also her great-grandmother. So let's get to know Marguerite a little bit better. Marguerite was born in 1648 in Saint-Denis de Douclair in France. Her parents were Pierre Bonnefoy and Marie Andréot. Now you can see that Douclair is found in the Normandy region, and inside of that Normandy region we have the Seine-Maritime Département or county. Douclair itself has about a little over 4,000 people that live there. It is famous for its duck. It's named, there's a Douclair duck, and that comes from this region. And it's notable because it's black with a white bib, so you can see that. The church, Saint-Denis de Douclair, was built between the 11th and 12th centuries. So you can see how picturesque and beautiful and serene almost this little commune, remember commune being a town, is in France. Marguerite would come to New France after her father's death, and she climbed aboard the Saint-Louis de Dieppe pour Quebec and arrived in Quebec on 25th, 1667. She came with a dowry of 150 pounds. Room that she selected and who selected her, his name, Jacques Achon. And he was born in 1642 in Chambon, France. His parents were Jacques Achon and Hélène Renaud. Now, I wanted to show you the Nouvelle-Aquitaine region, which is where he's from, and Charente-Maritime is the département. And very keen observers may remember a name Achon. Isn't there a fille mariée? And there is Jeanne dite Anne Achon. We profiled her in episode 4 of Les Filles Mariées, and I posted the link. That is his sister. So it's just a really interesting. When I saw that name, I went, wait a minute. And I dug a little, and there you have it. The Église Saint-Jacques-de-Chères is the church that he would have been baptized in. There are currently about 1,000 people that live in this very, very old and quaint town. He arrived sometime in 1664, and he was a farmer. And by 1667, was listed as a farmer, 25, and we have Charles Devin, who is 30 years old. I'm pretty sure they were sort of just helping him out. Charles, actually, interestingly enough, would go on to marry a fille du roi himself. And we have profiled her, Marie de Noyon, in episode 9. That's way back when. And I've posted the link for you, any of you who are interested. Jacques was listed with owning 4 beasts and 16 arpents valables, about 12 acres of land. So Jacques and Marguerite would get married April 12, 1667 at Sainte-Anne-de-Beaupré. They would settle in a town called Neuville. Neuville meaning new town. And it's a village on the north shore of the St. Lawrence River, and it's very close to Quebec City. It was founded in 1684, and it remains exactly like this, picturesque. We stayed there at a RV site there, and it was magnificent. I cannot stress enough how beautiful this little town is. In 1653, the area was granted as a seigneurie by Jean de Lezon to Jean Bourdon de Saint-Jean for his son, Jean-François Bourdon de Domburg, who was an engineer, a surveyor, really an incredible gentleman. In 1680, the Domburg seigneurie was acquired by Nicolas Dupont de Neuville. Thereafter, the seigneurie was known as Neuville. And by 1679, the parish of Saint-François de Sales was formed. It actually was known sometimes as Pointe-aux-Trembles in reference to the point on which the church was built, which was once covered with aspen and birch, tremble being, I believe, French for aspen. Now, let's have a look at the family they create. Go on to have two children, Anne, who would live till the age of 20 but not leave any descendants, and Louise, who married Joseph Mayeux and would have 7 children, 4 of whom survived, 3 of whom would leave descendants. Jacques would die sometime between April 1670 and July 9, 1671. He was not yet 30 years of age, just a tremendous sudden loss. The next groom for her was Claude Charpentier. He was born in 1636 in Neuville, France. His parents were Florent Charpentier and Marie Gerlet. I want to notice that I spelt it without the H, but here in New France, I have seen it more often than not with the H, so be on the lookout for that. Neuville is a farming village situated in the Normandy region inside of the Seine-Maritime department, and it's about 28 miles southeast of Dieppe. The Church of Notre Dame dates from the 13th century. There's also a feudal castle there that also dates from the 13th century. So it's one of those charming little places you want to perhaps visit if you're going to Normandy, which I intend to do at some point. Marguerite and Claude were married the 24th of August, 1671 at Quebec City. In my research for this episode, I came across this beautiful painting image of the Notre Dame at Quebec City, and it depicts a scene of 1841, which we know is very far removed from when they would have gotten married. But at least when I saw it, I thought, oh, it really kind of gets the feeling of what I imagined it to look like. So I've posted the reference to it as well in the notes, so you can have a look at it yourself. He would go on to have 10 children. Jean-Baptiste would marry Marie-Françoise Gentil and have 10 children, 6 of whom survived. Elisabeth married Jean-François Dubuc and would have 9 children, 7 of whom survived, 6 who left descendants. Jean-François' mother was Françoise l'Archevêque, a fille du roi, who we have not yet profiled. Alexis married Marie Merrier and would have 8 children, all of whom would survive. Benoit married Thérèse Dubuc, but did not leave any descendants. We have Antoine, who married first Marie-Thérèse Mayeux and would have 6 children, but none would survive. He then married Marguerite Trepanier and would have 7 children, 3 of whom would make it to adulthood. And he then married for a 3rd time Marie-Madeleine Marcoux and would have 1 child who did make it to adulthood. François married Marie-Anne Belin, but did not leave any descendants. Claude married first Marie-Françoise Caron, who died at the age of 23, without any descendants. He then married Geneviève Michel Marchand, with whom he had 5 children, 2 of whom survived till adulthood. Louis died young. Etienne married Charlotte Blanchon, with whom he had one son who would become a priest. Joseph married Louise Sivigny and would have 5 children, 4 of whom made it to adulthood. He then married Marianne Madeleine Belin, with whom he had 2 children, both of whom survived. And in the 1681 census, we find Claude as a carpenter, Marguerite, his wife. They also list her as the widow of Jacques, and their children, Anne, Louise, Jean, Elisabeth, Alexis, Benoit, Antoine. They have 1 gun. They have 4 bêtes, so 4 goats or 4 horned animals, and 18 arpents, about 15 acres of land. So you can see how very well noted this is. We have the 2 children from their first marriage and then the subsequent children. Marguerite would pass away first on November 14, 1700, at the very early age of 52. She and Claude were married 29 years. She would leave us 97 descendants. Claude himself would pass away 9 years later in 1709 at the age of 73, and they're both buried at Neuville. I always like to include one of my favorite Facebook groups, our Free French Canadian Ancestors, and their incredible work on being able to share our French Canadian ancestors. The files are there. I've posted the Facebook link, a tremendous resource for us all. So thank you to them for what they do. And this is a snippet. It's a volume 19, chapter 7. It has about 10 pages on Claude and his wife. So have a look at that for further information. And so we say goodbye to Marguerite. She really was a remarkable woman, and to have continued to thrive no matter what life presented to her, first with her first husband, Jacques, and then afterwards with her second husband, Claude. She kept on keeping on. And her perseverance and her determination truly shine through. And we want to say thank you for gifting us with your presence and for your contribution to the tapestry that is North America. And most of all, we bless your memory. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to my patrons and supporters. I thank you each and every day. You are just awesome. And when I get kind of stressed out, I think about y'all and I think, okay, I can do this. So thank you so much for all your support. I really appreciate it. Until I see you on the next episode, I want to say goodbye for now. And, of course, au revoir.